This video is sponsored by, I don't have the energy, W Energy. Use my code Xander25 for a discount on all W Energy products. Thank you for W Energy for sponsoring the video. Yeah.
I am Steve. Okay.
Yeah, I don't trust him. He seems kind of fishy.
This guy is such a tool bag.
That's what I'm saying. Is that Aquaman?
And that's April. This was definitely a weird month. It wasn't bad, I just wasn't impressed like I was with March or even February. I'd say this was the third best month so far. I think January just lacked quantity, but the quantity here definitely overshadowed the quality. God damn, the quality fell through. In terms of movies, while we did get a solid candidate for the best movie of 2025, it just wasn't that impressive a month. Even gaming, really only indie titles this month, and only one came close to being my favorite, and it didn't even end up in my top 3. TV ran this month with solid returning seasons, some grade A news shows, and only one reality show again. I guess I could have included Paul American, the Paul Brothers reality show.
The currency isn't being liked. The currency is attention.
I could also get hemorrhoids, so anything's possible. For me, this month was just okay. But this month will start a new format for my monthly recaps. From now on, I'm not ranking these. I feel like it's easier to just go down the list from what I watched first to what I watched last. Simply because I do a huge ranking at the end of the year, so I see no reason to talk about them in that format anyhow. Anyways, let's get into April. Subscribe if you haven't already. Starting us off is Elroy and the Aliens, releasing on April 2nd. This was such a weird game as it's a point and click in 2025, strike one, but it's completely in hand-drawn animation. With a weird story and fun, likable characters, I found this one just so charming. It's a personal favorite for me this year. It wasn't amazing, but it was fine. Alright, got 2 shows. The first was the Devil May Cry anime that dropped on Netflix on the 3rd. I'll go ahead and preface how I've never played any of the DMC games, and my reason is a little different from other popular gaming franchises I haven't played, like Kingdom Hearts or BioShock. Games that I know I'd like, I just don't have time to play them. I know I won't get into Devil May Cry no matter how hard I try to. That being said, I like the show. And to give you an idea of the quality of TV this month, this is the worst show I checked out in April, and it's not even bad. I think it's fine. I feel like fans of the game will get into it fine. That's just my thoughts, though. Next, we got Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 4, also dropping on Netflix April 3rd. I'll go ahead and say I didn't realize this show or Camp Cretaceous were as good as they were. I assume from the animation style and how it's definitely seeming more for kids, it would be a similar effect to Spy Racers. You know, it's a dumbed-down kiddie version of a more adult franchise. And considering my hatred for the Jurassic franchise recently, I assume this was in the same boat. Thankfully, both Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory are great shows. I'd actually argue Chaos Theory is better than the last 2 Jurassic films combined. But I mean, Dominion is fucking awful, so who's really surprised here? And this season is my favorite of both shows. Solid character writing and some great dinosaur scenes. It's pretty damn good, and I was surprised I enjoyed both shows. Alright, the people who subscribed because they assumed I was just a movie channel can finally say thank fuck a movie. A Minecraft movie is easily the most iconic of April. From the first trailer, I think people knew not to take this movie seriously, and thankfully, that's what the movie itself gets across. With absolutely horrendous effects, terrible writing, I mean it, absolutely awful. Jason Momoa straight up calls the main character the wrong name at times, not to mention the main character himself isn't that interesting. A Minecraft movie is the absolute best bad movie I've checked out this year. Jack Black absolutely sells it, and Jason Momoa surprisingly gets some good laughs. While it has some issues, like, man, Daniel Brooks is absolutely underused here, and you could have completely written out Jennifer Coolidge, I feel like it delivered exactly what it promised. Except for my cameo, those bastards. Actually, a few more notes. There were only 2 movies I checked out this month I watched twice. This, and another we'll get to in a bit. I watched it on opening weekend, which was a total disaster, and I watched it on the 6th with my sister and her boyfriend. It was my rewatch that confirmed to me this wasn't a good movie, but it was a fun movie. I had fun with it. I've been saying like some vocal stems recently that I've just been like, fuck. Dude, it's always like the obscure stuff, man. My diamonds. Chicken. Can't do it. Can't fucking do it. It's like dangling keys, you know? Like, just like, I'd be randomly working on a script or something, and just out of nowhere, I'd be like, my diamonds. Funny muffler. Jerky pal. Chicken chop. My diamonds. On April 5th, I checked out The Luckiest Man in America, a movie based on the true story of a man who absolutely ran the game show Press Your Luck. I'm a total sucker for game show stories, and this was right up my alley. With solid performances from Paul Walter Hauser and Walton Goggins, this film may not have absolutely impressed me, but I enjoyed it. Man, I had some serious luck in the first week of April. I haven't had anything bad so far. Lazarus was my favorite show of this month, an anime from the creator of Cowboy Bebop, which I haven't watched yet. It follows a comic named Axel teaming up with a group of vigilantes trying to find a man who unleashed a drug that's going to wipe out humanity. The action sequences really sell this show, as I hear that's a common praise with Cowboy Bebop. Adult Swim really lucked out on this one. I can't believe I liked it as much as I did. On April 7th, I checked out my first documentary to include in a monthly review, Not Just a Goof, on Disney+. To give you an idea of how important a Goofy movie is to me, it was the first movie I ever watched when I was just 2 years old. It stuck with me, and it's just become such a simple but charming movie. And this documentary really impressed me, as I didn't expect Disney, the ones who can do no wrong, to highlight that this movie didn't do the best financially or critically. Also, Steve Martin as Goofy, what is this, Disney in 2025? Thank God they shut that down. I'll admit I'm gonna keep this entry short since I'm still getting into this one. South of Midnight was a bit of a surprise. It was released as a Day 1 Game Pass release, and I knew nothing of it until I downloaded and played it. This was probably the first game since, no joke, Baldur's Gate 3, where I went in not knowing a damn thing about it. And thankfully, I've really enjoyed it so far. It's a fantasy action game where you play as Hazel and become this magical weaver, like literally unweaving the enemies you come across. That's pretty cool. I'll admit, the enemies kind of being threats to a spool was a decent surprise and very creative. You might also see the graphics and think, F Xander, get a better capture card, you bum.
Shut up!
Okay, actually, you probably pick up that there's heavy takes from stop motion in regards to the look and vibe of it. I also see some southern culture represented here, that's kind of cool. I legit really like the setting and atmosphere. I'm still getting into it, but South of Midnight is a surprise so far.
Catfish. No fucking way.
I like cars that do things that cars shouldn't do. Drive Loop Survivor is one of the lesser games I checked out this month, but still a fun time in small bursts. It kind of reminds me of those apps like Arch Heroes, Survivor.io, you know, small experiences but addictive. It's a good time for $10, you get your money's worth. Last game of this weird stretch of 3 days, on April 10th, I checked out Promised Mascot Agency. Again, I gave a short to this one, and it's pretty weird. It's a visual novel that has someone who looks eerily like Markiplier as he helps out these failed mascots. This game is very strange with its visuals, and it does kind of remind me of Persona in some ways, but I guess that is the go-to visual novel that everyone thinks of. It takes some patience, as most visual novels do, but this one impressed me. I completely forgot I watched this. No joke. Yeah, I completely forgot I watched The Amateur. This is a new one. I cannot remember a damn thing about it other than Rami Malek being in it. I have nothing else. Wow. This is cheating. Like, I can't even insult this movie. It has Jesus in it. The f am I supposed to say? That being said, while a bit of a safe bet, The King of Kings is, to the surprise of I'm sure nobody, a really fine film. It's an animated retelling of the Charles Dickens story, and honestly, for being a Jesus animated film, I was surprised they showed as much as they did. I think Oscar Isaac's work for this representation of good old JC in the film works pretty well. It's not my go-to animated film of 2025, but so far, it's pretty alright. Not as bad as, well, we'll get to that, but I don't think it's quite reaching Dogman or Vengeance Most Foul. The serial killer via technology trope in horror has been done to death and even ruined by films like Unfriended Dark Web, but I argue Drop was one of the better ones to do it. Following a single mother going on a date only to be stalked by a serial killer who, you guessed it, airdrops everything to her. It's a clever take on the old trope, and occasionally there are some good thriller moments, but it's a bit long and the love interest is not really interesting and the twist isn't special. It's good though, I can't say I was disappointed, it just wasn't what I expected, and that's totally okay. On April 13th, I started The Last of Us Season 2 on HBO. I'll admit I'm kinda sick of seeing Last of Us, one of the only big games I've never played, all over the place. Somehow, 2 games have spawned countless remakes, a 2-season HBO series. Like, what is it that is so special about this f***ing game? I'll have to check it out sometime, but for now, the second season isn't that bad. I assume this takes inspiration from the second game from how people talk about it, and as many have said before, Pedro Pascal is amazing as Joel. I wouldn't know about how Joel acts in the game, but Pascal absolutely brings his top game to this role.
I think you're failing to realize the one thing about the Last of Us show that sucks. The elephant in the room, if you will. The tiny-faced elephant.
Oh, hey, I thought I spelled virginity on my household. What's up?
Bella Ramsey as Ellie.
Oh, yeah, she's doing all right. I mean, for being so young, she's really all right as the character.
She's not hot! She's not hot. She don't got good tits. She don't got nothing.
Can you guys believe this?
Disgusting. Look, she's like a fucking gremlin.
Dude, isn't Ellie like 14 in the game?
She's legal. She's legal, by the way. She's legal.
It's really weird to me, dude, that you don't like an actress because she's not attractive. Like, what about her personality? I hear she actually gets the character down pretty well for everything I've heard.
She ain't got the looks, Chief.
Yeah, you know what else doesn't have the looks? Deodorant.
I don't have the energy for it again. Check last Friday's video out for more. Okay, so Rusty Rabbit was an interesting buy for me. I hadn't gotten too into Metroidvania, so this was definitely a risk. And while it's a bit of a safe bet of a game, I still enjoyed it fine. It follows a rust grabber, a cute rabbit named Rusty Stamp, who has the one voice I did not expect out of him.
Rusty Rabbit.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of cutesy additions to this game. I really like how when Rusty's mad, his face turns red. I like little additions how the little one strokes her ear when she's nervous. You know, little things that define the characters greatly. If I had one complaint that hurts the game completely, it would probably be the simple gameplay, but Metroidvania is definitely a tough genre to make different or unique, and for the rest of it, I enjoy it fine. Okay, so like I said, not only did we have a movie that's a real candidate for the favorite movie of 2025, but there was one other movie that I watched twice this month. The one was obviously Minecraft, and the other was Sinners. I saw it on April 18th, and I was so blown away, I had to watch it again. So on April 23rd, I went for a rewatch, and man, this was amazing. Something I didn't know going in was that Michael B. Jordan in I Don't Even Care, his best role hands down, was both of the brothers. I also like that this movie had a few things that have been done before, but this is a Ryan Coogler joint. He directed Black Panther, Creed, Fruitvale Station, and what I like is that this is his first original film, not based on an IP or true story. It shows such a deep talent, and I can't wait for the future of his career. Haley Steinfeld also kills it. This is amazing talent being shown. If I had one critique, it'd be that it maybe drags a bit in the middle, but for me, very little else. It's crazy good, and for me, it's my first candidate for the best movie of 2025. On April 20th, I checked out the premiere of the Rehearsal Season 2. I guess I've never really talked about my love for Nathan Fielder. He's one of those comedians who does such weird shit in a witty, dry way that makes it feel new and refreshing. He's kind of for me what John Mulaney is for others. And while I enjoyed the first season of The Rehearsal, I didn't remember it the way I remembered Nathan for You or The Curse. Thankfully, Season 2 was the much needed improvement. Just by episode 1, you can tell more effort went into this season. A talk about pilots and plane crashes, ooh, topical. If you don't know the plot of Rehearsal, usually Nathan Fielder gets a random guy and helps them rehearse for a big moment in their lives. In this case, it's a study to better understand the main cause of multiple plane crashes. I also like that they addressed a big issue with The Curse, how Fielder tried to get across a more serious role, but most couldn't take him seriously because he said this shit.
Exposing me to an audience of children.
It's seriously such a fun show and a much needed improvement on season 1. Man, I went 23 days in a month without a reality show. I must be in fucking rehab or something. Of course, Battle Camp is a Netflix reality show, which is like spinning a wheel with good or total dog shit as the two options. The interesting thing about this show was how it featured people from other Netflix reality shows. Some Circle guys, a few from the Mole, but sadly this means half of them are from the not good reality shows. I have too much self-respect to watch Too Hot to Handle, and I don't want to watch the Squid Game reality show. Wait, there's 2 people from the Squid Game reality show who hate each other. I'm not watching this garbage to find out what the beef is about. With that said, this is actually kind of solid. Yeah, I can bitch about how I don't care about why Lorenzo and Trey hate each other, but this is somewhat entertaining, okay. Nobody stands out in the cast, both in good and bad ways. Nobody makes me cringe at seeing them again. And the challenges are very creative. Also, it's always nice to see Shoebomb from The Circle in something again. Him and Joey carried the first season. I'd say this is the 3rd best reality show I've checked out this year, only beaten out by Extracted and Trader Season 3. Gotta say, solid stuff here, I'm impressed. Alright, now it's time to discuss my thoughts on the crazy opportunity of the Cineacon Sneak Peek Showcase, a 2-night event showcasing the highlights of Cineacon. This was a crazy opportunity I did not expect my theater to get.
This is AMC laughing at me. Got him!
Okay, yeah, so this better be a late April Fool's joke or something, AMC. Mind you, my Stubbs membership didn't pay for this. I had to fork over $3 to watch, I'm not joking, 90% of trailers that already fucking exist on the internet. There were a few crazy things to see, but they don't make up for me wasting $3 whole to watch a YouTube compilation of trailers. This was a ripoff, dude. Absolute garbage. I didn't write anything for Until Dawn. I think I forgot to. Wow, this is messy. Wow. It was alright. It didn't need to be called Until Dawn. I don't know. It didn't leave any form of impression on me. It was just kind of okay. So, yeah.
You know, I've learned something today. I didn't learn shit. Here's more of my outtakes from the Minecraft movie. You know, I really liked you in Community.
They're the villagers!
The villagers? Hey, what's that cat with the long-ass nose? Oh, that's Stampy. Don't worry about him.